There's more to this morning's guest than talking trash. Who is he? You'll meet him coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at the Bridal House of Charleston at 813 Main Street in Myrtle Beach. We're focused on the Solid Waste Authority, and we're visiting with its executive director, Ricky Hardee.
Good morning.
Ricky.
Good morning. How you doing?
Thanks so much for coming in on
Glad
the eve of the
to be here.
Republican presidential debates tomorrow night at the Convention Center right down the street. We're just a few blocks away. A lot happening here in town right now.
It'll be big business in town.
Absolutely.
Put Myrtle Beach and Horry County on the national spotlight.
Well, that and so many other great things, and I think the Solid Waste Authority is a great example of that, at least statewide. Some of the cutting-edge things you all have been doing recently, and some great things coming online. I think you
got some great things coming on. We're building a new material recycling facility, short MRF, M-R-F.
Right.
It's where all of the recyclables in the county will eventually end up. State-of-the-art equipment that we've researched over 4 years will be coming out of California.
Is that right?
In fact, it's being installed now. California is probably 15 years farther advanced in recycling technology than the Southeast. So we're bringing that equipment in. We'll are housing it in a LEED certified building.
Oh, great.
A green building, if you would. It'll be the first green MRF that we know of in the Southeast. So we're very proud of that, and the capabilities it's going to give, us to sort more things quicker, more efficiently, obviously, be a benefit to the citizens of the county.
You said the first LEED MRF in the Southeast,
as
not
far
just
as we
in the
know.
State, not in this part of the state,
That's
but
correct.
in the entire Southeast.
There is one in the state of Washington that we know of. But as far as we know, this will be the first in the Southeast. We're getting a lot of interest and calls from people in not only just in South Carolina, but North Carolina, Virginia,
right,
Tennessee, wanting to come down and visit. And it will have a educational office in it, sort of a multi-purpose room where you could hold meetings. It'll also have the capability of actually walking right by the equipment down the sort line. It'll have a deck, if you would, and you can actually walk out and see it being separated. Sure will.
When you say see it being separated, seeing the different things,
different products. At the new building, we can mechanically separate cardboard, mechanically separate newspapers.
Right.
We can also separate the office paper that's in it, junk mail, if you would. We can also take out all 7 types of plastic, the steel cans, the aluminum cans. So it's going to be quite a facility, about 56,000 square foot.
Is that right? How exciting! Well, that
We're
sounds
very
like
excited.
a place we need to come visit. Yeah.
Well, we may need to do a show
on the road.
On the road.
Yeah, that's very exciting. So much has to happen. I'm trying to think what has enabled Horry County's Solid Waste Authority to be such a leader, not only in the state, but in the Southeast, and really, as you said, even though California is 15 years ahead of much of this part of the country, at the same time, we're taking their great ideas and making them better.
Sure. I think one thing that's the big thing is that Horry County Council created the Solid Waste Authority. We are governed by a 7-member board. It's a partnership between the League of Cities and the county. It has its own financial operations in-house. We have our own personnel. Our own board governs us. Obviously, I'm the executive director. So we're part of the county, but we're apart and separate from the county, if you would. And I think that's allowed us to make business decisions and sometimes leave the political side out of it. Not that politics is bad, it's the season, but we've been very successful in that area.
That's tremendous, Rick. Yeah. You had an involvement in recycling or in waste management or involvement in solid waste prior to becoming executive director?
Well, I've been at the company 9 years. My previous life was in the business you're in and was in the publishing business. I stayed in it for over 20 years.
Is that right? 20 years?
Yeah. Bought and sold a number of papers and decided it was time to look for a different career and sold Dolores Scene, which
Dolores
my wife
Scene.
and I owned. We sold it to a local newspaper here in the county.
A couple, absolutely.
Actually,
Another
it's,
husband-wife operation.
Another
yeah.
husband-wife operation. And,
Right.
and moved to the Solid Waste Authority.
That is tremendous, Ricky.
Yeah.
That is tremendous. And had your involvement in buying and selling papers, had those been principally community or weekly newspapers or dailies as well?
No, they were small weeklies, involved in a paper at North Myrtle Beach, involved in a statewide farm publication.
Really?
Several specialty publications.
Right.
But, you know, a number of things that you do in the publishing business.
Oh,
I miss
yeah.
the publishing business. I miss the people. You get to know the businesses and people who you write about and
Right.
the community involvement. But just on a bigger scale at Horry County, you know,
Yeah.
we interact with all the mayors and obviously the cities
Oh,
because
yeah.
we're the authority and we're their authority.
And the Solid Waste Authority is not only touching folks in Little River, but also down in the northern part of Merle's Inlet, up into Bucksport,
We
into
serve.
Galloway's Ferry. There's not a part of the county y'all are not intimately involved
That's
in.
correct. We serve the entire county. We now have fully functional 23 convenience centers where citizens can bring not only their food waste, their MSW, but they can bring all of their recyclables, yard waste, their bulky items. They're strategically located across the county. If you
Right.
go to our website, you can see a map of where the centers are at. We're building a new center in Carolina Forest at International Drive in Carolina Forest near the new schools.
Sure.
It will be our largest center in space, a super center, if you will. Hope to have it online early spring. We worked very hard with Councilman Foxworth. He's
Yes.
been very patient.
Marion Foxworth is really dedicated
Yeah.
to that area.
And so we're looking for a lot of business. There's already been a lot of interest. We're having calls, you know, when can I bring things? So
Sure.
and it's quick, easy. It's very convenient. It's set up to take waste that you have at your home. They're open during times when people could come. We open at 7 in the morning and stay to 7 at night. So
Wow.
sometime during that 12-hour span, you know, people can throw it in the car or their truck and come by.
Ricky, we want to go through some of the steps of, let's say, recycling and why. Does it really matter if we recycle? But, of course, I did visit, just as you said, solidwasteauthority.org, saw the website, a tremendous website, and, of course, its connection to horrycounty.org, and it's a major, big website. And there I saw two upcoming dates, January 11th and January 14th. The 14th, I think, wrapping up grinding of the greens. And this Friday, the 11th, is the last day of potentially for someone to get out.
That's
Share
true.
with
We
viewers
have-
the significance of those 2 days.
We have a very strong grinding of the greens program. We partner with Santee Cooper, have for a number of years. We collect the Christmas trees from the county at our centers as well as certain points throughout the Grand Strand. The closest one being 10th Avenue. Simply take all of the decorations off your tree and bring it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we transfer it to the landfill where we will grind it after the 14th. You can
Okay.
still bring it to those locations up to the 14th.
Right.
We'll move them all to the landfill and then we grind it.
Is there a cost for viewers to do that?
There's no cost, and
Great.
when we grind the mulch, we give it back to the community. Excellent cedar, pine mulch.
Yeah.
First come, first serve, and that date will be published. It's usually sometime during the third week of January, but certainly before January is out.
Right.
Last year, I think we recycled over 8 to 9,000 trees. My memory serves me
Is
right.
that
So-
right?
And it's a way of giving back. It also takes product out of the landfill. A landfill operates on space. If you divert product, then you have more space for
Yeah.
MSW food waste, if you would, it can't go anywhere else.
You've
So,
said MSW a couple times. That's
municipal solid waste.
Municipal solid waste. Okay,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
common vernacular there in the solid
Yeah.
waste industry.
And the scholarships, we have a very strong educational program. As you know, we have a talking trash program in the
Right.
schools in 4th grade, where we have competition between schools. We also have a number of scholarships. That I think January 11th is a
Yeah,
date
this
for
Friday.
a scholarship
Right.
to be turned in. We do give away several of those.
Oh yeah,
We have-
$1,000
yeah,
plus. That's
$1,000.
for families who, for a student whose family.
If
they're
they're going
interested-
into the environmental sciences in some area,
Right.
we get them, and then we have an independent group that judges them, and the Solid Waste Authority funds up to $1,000. We believe it's important to give back to the community.
Oh, yeah.
I also think it's important to have kids who have an interest in environmental sciences.
Yes, and there are a lot of them, obviously, in the county.
Well, and that goes back to what our motto is protecting tomorrow's environment today. If we don't do something about it today, it may not be here tomorrow. So we're trying to educate as many young people as we can.
Right, and that is, you know, so oftentimes folks think, well, will it really matter? Does my recycling program, does my putting it out in blue bags on the side as opposed to just throwing it in the big blue trash can for the city to come by? And that's for viewers, let's say, here in the city of Myrtle Beach. Why should they actually take their Herald or take their Laura-Scene or their Horry Independent or Sun News or otherwise? Why should they recycle it?
Well, it's the environmentally friendly thing to do. It's the right thing to do. Obviously,
Right.
It can be reused again. If you believe in the 3 R's: recycle, reduce, reuse. Certainly, that completes the loop. As you well know, most of the newsprint today is from recycled content. Cardboard is another item that's easily recycled. Aluminum cans we sell directly back to Anheuser-Busch. It takes
Is that right?
a lot less energy to remanufacture a can than it does to take raw product. And when you're taking raw product, you're using the environment again. We don't need to do that if we can turn it back into something else. But back to my previous comment, when you take a pound of material out of the landfill and you reuse it for something else, that gives us another
More
pound space in the landfill. Space is the only product that a landfill or an authority like us have to sell. We're very much like a newspaper. You sell space, we sell space.
Right.
And so that's the real key to the environment is how do you manage it?
Right. Let's see, if viewer needs to get off to work now or get family off to school, what's the best way to learn more about the Solid Waste Authority? And do you ever set up tours so folks can come see what you've got?
A number of ways. You can visit our website. It's www.solidwasteauthority.org. .org. You can, if your kids is in school, you can certainly have the teacher arrange a school tour. If you belong to a civic group, you can give our education department a call.
Great.
We can arrange a tour for 3 to 50.
I think I saw that number was the 843-347-1651.
That is
Is
correct.
that the best number
That
for
is
viewers
correct.
who don't have internet access? Obviously, a lot of folks can just pick up the phone, 347-1651.
That's right, and ask for our education division. We have 2 excellent young ladies there. They'll be glad to work with you and schedule a time to come out. It's quite an interesting place to come to. We're one of the fortunate authorities in the state. We have all 5 disciplines of waste management. We have our composting facility permitted by SCD. We have a C&D facility, composting and demolition. If you were to tear this building down tomorrow, that would be C&D. Obviously, it is one of the safer of the waste streams. We have municipal solid waste, MSW, which is basically what we get from all of our restaurants and our tourists. As you know, we have plenty of tourists. Then we have our green power, where we actually take decomposing garbage and generate electricity. And we also have our new MRF, material recycling facility. So we handle
online in just a couple of months. Is there a MRF already?
There is a MRF now. It's at Jason Boulevard. There's quite a story about our MRF. We were on we were on 701, had a fire, and then we moved several places and ended up at Jason Boulevard. And we saved our money, and we're finally going to build a new facility. In fact, it's built on at the corner of Environmental Parkway and 3 R Drive. Imagine such an address.
Listen to that, yes.
So that ought to be easy to find. But it will be.
It will be right out there, right off of Highway 90.
Right on 90. It's about 3 miles from the landfill entrance. It's on land we own, and it'll be there. But we should be operational sometime March 1.